नमस्कार। आप सभी लोग अपने अपने घरों पर स्वस्थ होंगे तथा आपके प्रियजन मित्रजन भी सभी लोग स्वस्थ होंगे। तो कोविड-19 से बचने के सभी उपायों को करते हुए आप सख्त रूप से अपने अपने घरों पर रहें, इसी आशा के साथ हम बात करते हैं अपने टॉपिक। जैसा कि हम yesterday we have talked about our topic, that is loss of biodiversity, in which we have talked about different regions of the causes of the biodiversity losses, means in which we have talked about the habitat loss, over exploitations, and the alien species invasions and the coexistences, right? After that we have to talk about that, especially these organisms, right? What are the different regions for which biodiversity conservation should be needed, right? Why we have to just conserve this biodiversity in our surroundings, in our places? So especially there are some few regions or few main things due to which we have to conserve the biodiversity. As you can just see in the first one is, that is the narrow utilizations, broadly utilization and ethical arguments. Means different conditions. If we talk about the narrow utilization, mean narrow means the small one, means how we can utilizing the different things of the environmental conditions, we can taking all those things especially in our daily life, right? So we have to maintain them broadly utilization, right, and ethical arguments. So if we talk about the narrow utilizations of the substances in our surroundings, if we can say directly that generally in case of the human beings, right, generally in human beings each and everything, or we can say the, it can be directly related to the economic benefits, right? As we can say that this generally can always provide the food, right? Means with the help of under this narrow utilization argument, we can say it can be always helpful for the providing food. Evenly it is in the formation of the cereals, pulses, fruits, and we can say firewood, right, and some medicinal utility, evenly we can say. So this way we can say these substances can be always obtained from there. Evenly we can say generally construction material can be also obtained from there. Lots of the raw material, industrial product can be also get from this biodiversity or from the forest. We can say lubricants, dyes, resins, perfumes, they can be always utilized in such conditions. We can say they come in the narrowly utilization arguments. Evenly we can say more than 25% of the drugs sold today are derived from the plant, and about 25,000 species other medicinal plants are generally found in those native places or traditional medicines. Evenly utilization in these conditions. So we can say that evenly this, the bioprospecting is the exploring molecular, genetic and species level diversity for the product of the economic importance. Means generally by the utilization them, by changing their genetic effects, and they can be also utilized in the formation of the this narrow utilization arguments. If we can talk about the another one, that is a broadly utilization, or you can say broadly utilitarian arguments. Means how we can say it is generally so utilized in our daily life or utilitarian conditions. So we can say generally the, in a broader conditions we can say, as we can get the first examples of the, that is we can say production of the oxygen. If we can talk about the 20% of the total oxygen in the atmosphere on the earth, it can be always obtained from the forest of Amazon. Generally it is estimated, right? We can say that Amazon forest can produce at least 20% of total oxygen in the atmosphere by their photosynthesis process. Means the maximum amount of the oxygen which can be utilized by the peoples, by the animals, by the organisms It can be developed, it can be excreted during the photosynthesis of the Amazon forest. That's why we have to needed the biodiversity in that conditions, right? We have to conserve the biodiversity. And there's another thing, that the pollination means, if we can say, talk about the ecosystems, it can also capable to provide the different pollinators as bees, birds, bats, hummingbird, bees. So many types of the bee pollinators can be, or bumblebees. They can be always obtained due to the such conditions. They can be always develop into the ecosystems. So they can be also helpful for the such pollination conditions. Evenly, we can say there is another thing. We can talk about the aesthetic pleasures, right? You can say aesthetic pleasures means generally when the peoples can use those things, right? Means they can be, everybody want to go into the forest, go into the such places where the different enormous numbers of plants, enormous numbers of flowers, enormous numbers of the animals can be seen over there, right? For that we have to, if we not conserve the biodiversity, there is such thing will not seen over there. So the lots of people, for their pleasure, they want to like the watching the spring flowers in full blooming, right? Evenly they walk by through the forest, they like it, right? Evenly we can also say the song of the bulbul and the sound of the koel, right? Cuckoos, they are the different aesthetic things for which the peoples can be always memorize, that they can be always related to those places for the conservation of the biodiversity. Means, if we can say, especially the regions, we are talking about the regions of biodiversity conservation. The first is that is narrow utilitarian arguments, second one the broadly utilitarian arguments. Then we have to talk about the third, that is called the another one, that is the third reason for the biodiversity conservation, that is the ethical reasons, right? We can say there are specific conditions, especially we can say, if we talk about the million of the plants, animals and microbes on this earth will whom we share, means we can be always capable to share some things with the different all biodiversity which is present in our society, in our places. Only another thing we can say, the species which is found on the earth surface, it's have a intrinsic value, right? Means it is a very valuable for the different things. It can be always helpful for that. It can be evenly, it can be always helpful for the intrinsic values. Evenly we can say it not be current or any economic value to us. Generally sometimes we think that we have to not conserve them, because generally we can say there is no economical value for us, because everybody is just moving behind or running behind the money about the economic status. But generally we can see, if we are directly not related to the biodiversity, then that condition that we think about it, but it is false. Generally we all have to just think about that. It is the most important thing for all surrounding them. Even we can say it is therefore our generally moral duty to ensure well-being of all the living creatures for the utilizations of the future generations. Means if we will not take care these biodiversity in this date, what will our future generation will see? So we have to take the think about that. We have to conserve, we have to just protect this biodiversity, for that it can be also remains, it can be also protected for the coming generations also. That's why we have to also need to protect themselves over surroundings there. Means we can say, according to this, it is our moral duty that we have to take care of the all living creatures and pass on our biological legacy in the good other to the future generations. अगर हम अभी इसकी प्रोटेक्शन नहीं करेंगे बायोडाइवर्सिटी, तो क्या होगा, हमारी जो फ्यूचर जनरेशन आएगी उनको ये चीज़ देखने को नहीं मिलेगी. जैसे आप लोग देखते होंगे कि जनरली जैसे जैसे कॉमन विलेजेस में कहते थे कभी दूध दही कोई चीज़ बिकती नहीं थी, कोई इकोनॉमिक वैल्यू इसकी नहीं थी। नहीं, आज की डेट में आप जाएंगे तो सब जगह ये दोनों चीज़ों की बहुत ज़्यादा वैल्यू हो गई है, बहुत ज़्यादा कॉस्टली होते जा रहे हैं। लेकिन पहले क्या था, सबके पास होता, सब लोग आसानी से प्रोटेक्ट करते थे, एनिमल्स हुआ करते थे, सो दे कैन प्रोटेक्ट देम जनरल वे में। तो इसी तरीके से मैं क्या, वी हैव टू ऑल्सो कंजर्व दिस बायोडाइवर्सिटी फॉर द सच कंडीशंस और सच रीजन्स। So due to these reasons, we have to also conserve the biodiversity. For if we talk about the conservation of biodiversity, means conservation of biodiversity can be done by the different means. We can say there are especially things, two basic approaches, two basic conservations of biodiversity are, we can say, that is in situ and there another is. Basically there are two approaches, two things for the conservation of the biodiversity, that is in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. We can say especially these can be classified on the different conditions, right? We can say generally if we talk about in situ conservations, there are some specific things, that there is a biodiversity hotspots and protected areas. We can say generally biospheres, national parks, wild sanctuaries and scared group. There are different regions where the organisms can be just protected in those conditions. If we talk about the biodiversity hotspots, first of all we have to know what is this hotspots of biodiversity. Means generally we can say these are the different conditions where the high level of species are found over there. Means high degree of endemism, means those organisms can be, species can be found in those particular regions naturally, but they are not found anybody else. If we can talk about the endemic, means especially in the these regions, endemism, we can say endemic species are those species which can be found in a particular area of but they are naturally, they are not found in anywhere else. As you can get the example of kangaroo, they are naturally found in the Australia, but they can be found in everywhere world, but naturally they are endemic or endemism in the Australia. So we can say generally about these hotspots, if we can talk about them, generally hotspots cover less than 2% of earth land area. Especially we can say the total biodiversity hotspot in the world are 34, which are found in our whole world. Evenly in that we can say there are three hotspots which cover India's biodiversity region. First, that is called Western Ghats, Sri Lanka, Indo-Burma and Himalaya. These are the three regions where the biodiversity is are found in, especially into the in such regions. Evenly we can say these hotspots can reduces ongoing mass extinction of almost 30%. Because of these hotspots, the reducing rates can be of extinctions is can be decreases in that conditions. And if we can talk about the protected areas in that conditions, we can say especially the protected areas ecologically they are the unique and biodiversity rich regions where we can say they can be protected as biosphere reserve, national park and sanctuaries. Means these are different places where the organisms can be placed in their nature conditions. Means we can say they are always on their sites, they never be protected from over there, right? They can be always protected in that particular places in their natural conditions. As we can talk about there in, as India has 14 biosphere reserves, right, and 90 national parks as well as 448 wild sanctuaries, right? We can see the first national park in India that is set up, that is known as Heli National Park in that time, but now it is known as Jim Corbett National Park, situated in Nainital district, right, in Uttarakhand. And then we have to talk about the scale groups. Scale groups are the, these are most, so many times it can be asked over there, right? If we can talk about these scale groups, generally these are the forest areas which can be sets, or we can say all the trees and wildlife in that conditions they are venerated and give total protections. Means they are just completely given the protection again by the other organisms. Evenly we can say these are the religious and cultural places which are the protected. Generally they are related to our religious, they are related to our culture things. So these are generally, if we can talk about the skill groups in India, there are four skill groups, especially the first one we can say the western Ghat region of the Karnataka and Maharashtra, and Khasi and Jaintia hills in Meghalaya, and Aravalli hills of Rajasthan, and Sarguja, Chanda and Batsar areas of the Madhya Pradesh. These are different skill groups which can be seen in India in that condition where the conditions or the organisms can be protected over there. Evenly, these in the skill groups we can say the tribal peoples can be always helpful to production in such regions also, right? And these regions can have or contain the large number of rare and threatened plants can be found in there, right? That's why they have to conserve over with the help of the this diversity conservation. Then we have to talk about the ex situ conservation. Ex situ means rather than their sites, means where the animals can be protected, animals can be conserved, right, but not at their natural conditions. They can be protected in some other places, means they can be get all the threatened species, all the extincted species can be protected in different regions. So in that particular condition we can say these are, especially in the ex situ conservation, we can say the protection of the threatened species and protection of the gametes. Mean it can be done artificially also. So we can say the zoological parks, botanical gardens, the wildlife safari parks, they can be specially established for the such purposes, right? Well, these animals can be always helpful for the giving all kinds of the facilities for these animals in that conditions. And if we can talk about especially India, there are 35 botanical gardens, right, and 275 zoological parks, whereas animals which become extincted in the wild are maintained over there. Evenly we can say this. On the other hand, we can talk about the production of the gametes in that condition, the tissue culture, seed bank, and the gene. In that we can say, especially the cryopreservations can be also a technique utilized for the such conditions, in which the preservation of the sperm, eggs, and animal cells and tissues or embryos, which can be always stored in the different places, right? We can say these substances can be preserved at minus 196 degree temperature in a liquid nitrogen, right? In that technique, this technique can be also helpful for the protections or the storage of the longer time of that in the gene bank and seed bank. So due to their threatening condition, they can be again utilization in different places. And there is another technique, we can say in vitro propagations of the plants carried out by the applying tissue culture method. Sometimes those plants which are going to be extinct in that conditions, they can also utilize in such condition that we can use them as their places in such a way that they can very helpful in nature. Evenly we can say there is another thing that these animals can also helpful for the maintaining them in a future as their gene, as their seeds, and as their other gametes formations, right? As you can say, especially this in situ and ex situ. Sometimes this question can be asked in distinguishes between the in situ and ex situ, right? So you must just understand in situ means the animals and their sites, on their sites, and ex situ of their sites. सिंपल समझना बेटा कि इन सीटू में ऑर्गेनिज्म को उसके नेचुरल कंडीशन में ही प्रिजर्व या प्रोटेक्ट किया जाता है, और एक्स सीटू में इसको आर्टिफिशियली अलग अलग मेथड से, चाहे जीन बैंकिंग के मेथड से, सीड बैंकिंग के मेथड से उसको प्रिजर्व किया जाता है, राइट। देन लास्ट टॉपिक दैट इज द कंजर्वेशन ऑफ द बायोडाइवर्सिटी, राइट। इफ वी कैन से generally the conservation of biodiversity is a collective responsibility of all nations. Means not only India, not only America, not only China, not only Australia. Means it is the collective responsibilities of all nations, all countries, right? Means evenly if we can talk about only about India, it is also that it is the conservation of biodiversity is all people's responsibility, right? So on the basis of this, it can be done over there. Generally, in so many times there are different times the people can be tried to done different conditions. If we can talk about the Earth Summit held in Rio de Janeiro in 1992, that in that particular conditions we can say in which the all nations called to take appropriate measures to conservation biodiversity and sustainable utilizations in its benefits. Means how the in that condition, in that summit, the people, the scientists, the different national countries, people can always just talk about just that how they can capable to maintain the biodiversity and how they can capable to sustainable development, sustainable utilizations, means without disturbing of this biodiversity in their natural conditions, they can be utilized over there. After that, there is another World Summit on the Sustainable Development held in Johannesburg, South Africa in 2002. Evenly, right, in which the different countries can participate. Right over there, there is another in the summit. 190 countries pledged their committed reduce the country trade biodiversity loss in global region and the local level of 2010. In 2010, whenever there is another will Earth Summit will take place, especially about the sustainable development, right? In that condition, there passes the different kinds, different rules for the conservation of the biodiversity in all over the world or the into the global regions. So this way, the global World Summit can be held for the conservation of the biodiversity. But there is another thing about the Red Data Book. The Red Data Book can also name, right? It listed the different taxa for the different organisms, right? If we can say generally, in the different shortcuts can be used for the animals, right? If we can talk about the ex, which can be means the extinct, means the animal is not remain now, right? As example, the Javan tiger, dodo, and a woolly mammoth. Evenly, if we can the EW, that is the extinct in wild, means only the surviving in the capitative in the locations outside its historic range, right? As we can say, Scoro, dove, and the scimitar oryx. So that this data book can be given out so many animals in different conditions about the rare species, vulnerable species, near threatened species, least concerned species, right? And intermediate species. Means they also given different data for the with the help of IUCN, which can be always helpful for the maintenance. So students, you must read about the details in situ conservation and ex situ conservation, their examples and the different conditions, especially the regions for the biodiversity, narrowly utilitarian arguments, broadly utilitarian arguments, and the ethical arguments. These are different most important thing about this lesson. So you all must try to learn them. Then we have to talk about next lesson. So you all must just try to learn them properly.